when you guys, and you went off to do this, like when you're looking at from a product perspective, what was the decision on the ICP? Like, who are we going to go after? What size company, maybe industry? And then what was like the first kind of pieces or functionality of the product? And how did you decide both of those?
I would say the answer to the first is we're still learning, because
Okay.
what's great is Leave is pervasive. It's industry agnostic. It's size of company agnostic. So, the TAM, or total addressable market's
Yeah,
enormous.
it's
It's a
huge.
really dumb business strategy, as we all know. So, um, I would say answer that we know today is the vitamin to painkiller threshold, or where companies become the pain becomes untenable, is getting smaller and smaller in terms of employee population size, because that leave landscape has become so complex and so unique. So typically we find customers that are coming off of spreadsheets, homegrown systems, even
Right.
whiteboards. We've seen some of the most dynamic whiteboards you can imagine. Um, they're our first movers. It's a instantaneous delight factor. It's a breath of relief you can't really even imagine. So that is starting, as I said, to move downstream. I'd say now we used to say 500 is kind of that tipping point. I'd even argue it's closer to 200 to even 100 in a state like California that has the most complex paid leave landscape. So those are first movers, really apt to buy, really fast to delight, and then we like to grow with them. In a lot of instances, we've seen that with the customers that we welcomed. If I talk about the other end of the spectrum, our enterprise customers, that was where I first started to discover, number one, I had a strong network in that space. Number two, I thought, I want to fix this for as many people as fast as possible. So I was really fueled to get into the big, Walmarts of the world and Starbucks of the world. But I've been humbled in these last, 7 years since I took the jump out of corporate America. Those enterprise customers are a different dynamic, and they
Right.
have, justifiably so at times, all sorts of requirements and table stakes
Yep.
that, as an emerging tech company, I've learned you either have to decide we're going all in and we are going to be enterprise from the jump, or as we have chosen, we are deciding as we scale through SMB and mid-market, the pain is still there. We know everyone's suffering, but we need to make sure that we're offensive in how we grow into those larger customer size and not reactive, because we don't want to disappoint anybody and we don't want to get ahead of our skis.